The thing that we've heard many of you talk to us before is we love Fellow. Like it gives us the most insanely detailed meeting notes there are. We use it to just, keep everybody accountable, and also like build amazing things with AI. But the problem is it only really works well when you have a Google Meet link, a Zoom link, or, a Teams link, right? If you had something like an in-person meeting, you would have to do some hacky things like create a fake meeting and get Fellow to join that meeting. But really, all you want to do is just, hit record and have it just work. Or some of you have said, well, I use Slack and I use Slack Huddles. And so what about those Slack Huddles? How do I bring those in? Or sometimes I do a WhatsApp call and, what about that? And so there's been all these places that you would have wanted to take Fellow, but you haven't had the ability to do so. So what I'm going to talk about and show you shortly is going to solve that problem. But there's also one more problem to solve. We could have taken the shortcut here and done things the way that some other products in this space, we usually don't talk about others, but there's some others in the space and they've done some things where you can do local recording and you can click record and it can just record your audio. But we didn't really like the approach that was taken, and we wanted to do things the Fellow way. And as you know, like on our website, plastered on the homepage is security first AI meeting assistant, right? We are very proud to keep privacy and security in mind. And the reason is that the way that people use Fellow is they use it for all their meetings, their internal ones, those sensitive HR discussions, those one-on-one meetings, those executive team meetings. We have publicly traded companies running Fellow across the organization with tens of thousands of employees. So security means a lot. And what we didn't want to do was the approach that some other that we could have taken. And basically, I just didn't want to work at a company where someone could on my team is recording me without me knowing. And to me, I don't know, that just doesn't feel right inside of your company. If you're doing AI note taking, like everybody should know. And the other thing is, the whole point of Fellow and products like Fellow is to keep everybody on the same page. So it doesn't make sense for everybody to have like different notes because we're back to square one, right? That was the problem we were trying to solve. We
Yeah.
want everybody to be on the same notes and especially those action items. The entire point is for everybody to walk in and walk out with the exact same action items. And so the idea that we kind of built was we're going to build a solution. We're going to solve all these problems, but we're going to do it in a way that is collaborative and Fellow-esque the entire way. So with that said, let me show you what it looks like. So right now, so we're calling this our Fellows Botless Recording feature. And so if I scroll down, anywhere on the screen, you can kind of see that I have this interface at the bottom that says record. So when I click on this, here's what's going to happen. By default, the bot option is not selected. So if I just clicked on it, it would just work. And the reason the bot was not selected is because there's no virtual conference link. But if there was one, it would default to that. And if there wasn't one, it's going to default to botless. So as soon as I click it, immediately it starts recording in the way that you would expect. There's this like nice waveform animation here, which kind of tells you what's going on. But the nice thing is, and I'm going to show you this, like hands-free. And Manuela, let's talk about something sensitive here.
Oh, yeah. I will go ahead and on my side, pause the recording because I know you're recording botless. And now you can see I paused it on your side of things.
Okay. And so just to, for those technical folks out there, what's really cool is I'm recording on a desktop native basis, literally from my hardware device. But yet Manuela was able to pause my local recording from her device. And so that's kind of the power of what we've built. What's cool is everybody knows, and I'll resume again, but everybody knows exactly that this meeting is on the record and it's being recorded and it's there. And just like every other feature in Fellow, you can go back and you can redact previous parts of the conversation and delete things that you didn't want there. And all that functionality still comes here. And it comes with all the controls that you would expect, right? So your administrator can do things like say, well, we only want to use the bot, or we don't want to use the bot list, or we want to use it in this case and that case. And all of those different things that you would imagine that you would need, all of that is built in one place. But the point that we want to make is no matter what kind of meeting you're having, we just want you to press record and it's just going to work. It's going to mask all the complexity. And I think that's what the new fellow experience is about, is to mask the complexity and give you the simplified interface.
Exactly. We are giving you the flexibility depending on what type of meeting you need to capture to choose bot or botless. And like Aydin was saying, you can think about it in these three ways. First, we are transparent internally. So people in your company know that they're being recorded if you're using botless. Fellow is collaborative by nature. So everyone gets access to the same meeting agenda and the same action items. And like Aydin was saying, we're secure and governable, which means that regardless of the capture method, whether it is bot or botless, all recordings fall under the same security framework.
Yeah. And so there's some there's some things that that we should also talk about. So obviously the way that people know on both sides that, you know, there is botless note taking taking place is if you are all using Fellow within the company, then the interface, like clearly, like everybody has the same sort of interface, and you can see it. If you use a Chrome extension, you would see it. And so all of that stuff will be there. But for external meetings, we don't have the same sort of option. So what we rely on is a big notification that's kind of hard to miss that tells you, hey, you're about to do this. You know you have to inform the other party. And so those are some functions that we've built on the other side. So that's kind of how we're playing it. And we recognize that those options might not work for everyone. And that's why we've built the options that you can turn it on or turn it off. But we're proud to say, you know, from a perspective of the best that can be done in this category, we've definitely not taken any shortcuts and done all this extra work on the collaboration just to make sure that we can make a company where the note taking is transparent.
Yeah. And if you're curious to learn more about Botless Recording, our wonderful team just left a link in the chat to the help center
Yeah.
about that. But Shannon is also here to show
Before we
us.
do that, Manuel,
Yeah.
I do want to show like just two quick things here. So the botless recording, one thing to point out is that it is audio only, right? So when it's video, it looks like this. So when the bot joins, you have a full video. But then when it's botless, it's going to look like this. So it's audio. But the nice thing is we can detect the speakers and you can do things like, again, if you're using Fellow internally, it will auto actually detect the speakers and their voice, and it'll auto assume who they are. And in the transcript, you can do things like you can obviously comment on the transcript, and you can always do things like redact parts of the conversation, right? So these are all the same security principles that we've kind of built into Fellow exist here as well.
Yeah. And I like that you're already answering some of the questions in the chat. Someone was asking about speaker identification. So that's great. And yeah, thank you for your excitement. We are reading all the comments in the
Oh, we
chat.
forgot to say the one final thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there's so much stuff, and we are going to finish on the 45-minute mark. I'll speak faster in the later parts, but oh yeah, let's not forget this icon at the bottom left. So what's really nice is now I take my laptop into place, I click on that button, I start a botless recording, and it's amazing. Just being able to do this in these in-person meetings is just so nice. It feels like anytime I'm talking and Fellow's not there, it's almost like it's a waste of time because these days when I'm talking, it's not just about the meeting and the participants, it's also about all the AI agents that are going to be powered with this context. And yeah, I don't want to ruin the surprises that are coming, so I'll stop right there
I
and
think,
pass it
yeah.
back over.
No, all good. We're so excited about these features, and I see the users are too in the chat section. So keep the questions coming and we'll answer them.